We reacted in the past to the 101 fact about Sweden. Now we're gonna go to Finland and we're gonna split the video in half because it's a very, very long video. So, well, let's go. Let's get started. I'm sure there's gonna be a mistake. Let us know and we're gonna give you our opinion, yes.
Greetings, motherfuckers! My name is Sam, and today we're traveling northwards to the land of salty licorice, eccentric sports, and steamy naked blonde people. Finland! Yes, we're going to be learning all about Europe's less well-known but actually quite badass countries, where rye bread is king and the metalheads roam like wild horses. Magnificent. But what does nearly every Finnish person have in their home? How did Finland beat Italy at their own game? And in billions of years, when the sun swells in size, engulfing the Earth in fiery oblivion, will Nokia phones fly off into space or just sit bubbling on the sun's surface like the wonders of indestructibility that they are? 2 out of 3 of those questions are going to be answered, so grab your Finnish flags, make yourself a nice sandwich on rye bread, and strap in for a white-knuckle thrill ride through 101 facts about Finland. Before we kick off, though, let's talk about the sponsors of this here video.
Was that Kimi Räikkönen?
Finland, officially known as the Republic of Finland, is a Nordic country in northern Europe that borders Norway to the north, Russia to the east, the Gulf of Finland and the Baltic Sea to the south, and Sweden and the Gulf of Bothnia to the west. It's a cool little country for a number of reasons.
Is that Lordi? Is that Lordi from Eurovision?
He looks scary
here.
here.
Right the heck now. Ready? Ready. Number 2. If the archaeological finds from Wolf Cave are the result of Neanderthal activity, the first people inhabited the area now known as Finland as early as 130,000 years ago. Fast forward around 9,000 years ago, a number of people, including the ancestors of the Sami people, first arrived in Finland. These groups moved north into the area now known in English as Lapland during the first millennium.
The Sami people. They have it in Sweden, in Norway, in the very far north.
Wait, are they come from Canada?
Wait, no. What? The Sami people that we reacted to in the past, like with the joke music, the joke folk music.
No, because I'm thinking about like...
We have people like that are similar, the tribe north and the...
Yeah, but I mean like because they said like people come from Africa.
The first person was Africa, right? But it was so long ago.
Yeah, but then they travel around, even like Asian people, and then the people like develop things like that to fit with the air, atmosphere, and everything that way. Appearance had changed. Yeah,
the first person come from Africa, but the African people did not go to North America first. There was also people that were born in North America at one point. Like the First Nation and things like this. It's not because both were only invented later on. So there's people that are still born in different places, just not at the same time.
BC, when the ancestors of modern Finns arrived on the scene. Number 3. The first written sources that mention Finland date back to the 12th and 13th centuries, when Finland...
Unless I'm wrong, and the world originally was just one plot of land, and then because of temperature, everything separated with the water. Unless I'm wrong about that. And the world used to be a lot smaller, like the land area, and it was mostly like one big spot. I'm not sure.
The first written sources that mention Finland date back to the 12th and 13th centuries, when Finland became something of a battleground between the competing nations of Sweden and the Novgorod Republic, which was basically a demo version of Russia. A series of religious conflicts known as the Swedish Crusades brought Catholicism to Finland, while Novgorod and the Orthodox Church pushed westwards from the east. Number 4.
Yeah, it was a lot. That were a lot of Finn people. They don't understand Sweden because officially they were part of Sweden before, like because Sweden used to be so powerful, but like back in the day, Finland are kind of squeezed between Sweden and Russia when you think about it, right?
The two sides struggled for dominance until the signing of the Treaty of Nöteborg in 1323, which gave most of what is now southern Finland to Sweden, while eastern and northern Finland went to Novgorod. Finland was getting carved up like a Thanksgiving turkey, without much consideration for the native Finnish population, who, in this analogy, live on the turkey. It's not great, but let's continue. Number 5. After the Treaty of Nöteborg, Finnish history is Swedish history for around 500 years, during which what is now Finland was merely a group of provinces within Sweden. Finland was administered in accordance with Swedish traditions and legal systems, which cemented Finland's Western Europe cultural identity. Number 6. Only decades after the Treaty of Nöteborg was signed, Finland was devastated by the Black Death, which wiped out a third of the population. According to one folktale, the plague killed the entire population of the southern Finnish town of Espoo, except for only a young girl and a monk. Sadly, the monk eventually succumbed to the disease himself, at which point the girl climbed the church
Wow.
tower and tolled its bell in tribute. This signalled her presence to the only other survivor in the area, who would later become her husband, and together, the couple helped to repopulate the town of Espoo. Probably not true, but a nice story nonetheless, eh? Number 7. During the period in which Finland was little more than a region of Sweden, Swedish naturally became the dominant language among the ruling classes, and was the principal language of administration and education. Finnish, on the other hand, was the language of the peasantry, local courts, and the clergy, who were the only members of the educated classes whom would be able to speak Finnish well. This distinction cemented the legacy of Swedish in the history of Finland, and even today forms a significant part of Finnish culture. Number 8.
Not only that, but the Finnish language looked very different from Sweden, Norway, and Denmark. Even though it's part of the Nordic country, it looked more similar, I think, to the, is it Estonia, Lithuania, those kind of country or something? I don't remember. I know that Finnish, the way when I listen to people speak Finnish, it's very different from Sweden and Norway and Denmark.
Reformation, started by Luther in the early 16th century, and I don't mean Idris Elba, by the way, eventually reached Sweden and Finland, at which point the Catholic Church was supplanted by the Lutheran faith. Suck it, Catholicism. Sorry if my priest is watching this. Number 9. At around this time, the various Finnish groups gradually developed a sense of unity, and Finland saw a surge in Finnish language culture. The Bishop of Turku, Mikael Agricola, created the first comprehensive writing system for Finnish, which remains to this day. In 1548, Agricola translated the New Testament into Finnish, and roughly 100 years later, in 1642, the entire Bible appeared in Finnish for the first time. Number 10. Throughout the 18th and 19th century, Sweden's power began to decline. Eager to exploit their neighbour's frailty, what is now Finland was annexed by Russia in 1809, becoming an autonomous part of the Russian Empire known as the Grand Duchy of Finland. Number 11. The Finnish national movement gained momentum while under Russian control. In 1863, Finnish became an official administrative language in the region, and Finland's Legislative Assembly was convened for the very first time in over 50 years. The Conscription Act of 1878 gave Finland its very own army too, which is an important part of being a country as it allows you to intimidate and fight with other countries as the good Lord intended. Number 12. As the dawn of the 20th century approached, Russia became increasingly wary of growing Finnish nationalism, and in 1899 Nicholas II began attempts to curtail Finnish autonomy and impose Russian culture, language and laws, commencing the so-called First Era of Oppression. The 1905 Russian Revolution offered some respite, and in 1906, Finland was granted its own parliament. Number 13. 1906 is also notable as the year in which the Finnish people adopted universal suffrage, granting women the right to vote and stand for elections on the same basis as men. I know, weird, right?
Wow, that was even earlier than in Canada. I think it was 1920, women right to vote. 120 years ago. It was before Canada, even, despite all the difficulty that they had in the country.
With this, Finland became the first European nation to grant equal voting rights for women. Number 14. Russian attempts to crack down on Finland's autonomy began afresh in 1909, constituting the second era of oppression. But luckily, the Finns didn't have to wait too long for a liberation. While Finland did not take part in the First World War, the conflict led to the collapse of the Russian Empire. And on the 6th of December 1917, Finland declared independence, which was recognised by the Bolshevik government 25 days later on the 31st of December. Congrats, Finland! Number 15.
31st.
Sadly, Finnish independence began with an eruption of violence only days after emancipation from Russian control, which left a power vacuum in the former duchy. This led to the outbreak of the Finnish Civil War, sounds nasty, in which the communist Reds waged war with the conservative Whites, the latter of which eventually emerged victorious after only 3.5 months. Roughly 39,000 people died in this conflict.
Whoa.
Number 16. Finland is notable for the fact that it's never had its own monarchy. Well, okay, sort of. After the end of the Finnish Civil War, it was decided that Finland should get a fancy new monarchy, the head of which would be Frederick Charles of Hesse, owing to the considerable assistance provided by the Germans that had helped deliver victory for the Finnish Whites. However, this plan fell apart after only a couple of months after the German defeat in the First World War, and so Finland emerged as a democratic republic. Number 17. Finland fought against the Soviets on 2 occasions during the Second World War. First during the Winter War between 1939 and 1940, followed by the Continuation War between 1941 and 1944, a conflict in which Finland fought alongside Germany. Not a great look. The wars ended with Finland...
Yeah, but it's because Russia used to be ally of Germany at the very, very beginning. And then they switched it. But they were always like, even though Russia tried to be on the side that go after Germany, they never had Finland in grade. Like they use Finland to go to Germany and stuff like this. They never use Finland as like our ally or something.
Ceding significant areas of its territory to the Soviets, although in doing so, Finland managed to protect its independence. Number 18. However, by August of 1944, Finland had begun to hold secret talks with the Soviets, and had negotiated a peace by September. This required the expulsion of German troops, which resulted in Finland fighting Germany in the Lapland War between 1944 and 1945. As such, Finland found itself in the quite unusual position of having effectively fought on both sides during the Second World War. Number 19. Finland's peace treaty with Russia also required them to pay reparations. Of all the countries that were compelled to pay reparations following World War II, Finland is the only one known to have paid its full bill when it sent $300 million to the Soviet Union in 1952. If you buy Finland a drink, they'll know you get... what? Number 20. Finland became a member of both the United Nations and Nordic Council in 19...
Crazy, by the way, that Finland was forced to repair to Russia after everything that happened. Crazy.
55, which sounds like something from Skyrim, but isn't. Nordic cooperation has led to many legislative and political similarities between Finland and its fellow Nords in Denmark, Norway, Sweden and Iceland, including free movement, the gradual development of a common and free labour market, an extensive welfare state and numerous cultural similarities. Number 21. After enduring a severe recession during the early 90s, Finland joined the EU in 1995, and was one of the first nations to adopt the euro, phasing out its previous currency, known as the marker, by 2002. Number 22. Today, Finland is a parliamentary republic consisting of 19 regions called Maku. Today, Finland is a
parliamentary republic is a republic that operates under a parliamentary system of government where the executive branch, the government, derives its legitimacy from and is accountable to the legislature, the parliament. Okay, that's not that different from in North America, actually.
Parliamentary republic consisting of 19 regions called Maakunta in Finnish and landskap in Swedish. These regions are further divided into 317 municipalities, referred to as kunta in Finnish and kommun in Swedish. Finland also has a single autonomous region, kunta in Finnish.
What is the color?
And kommun in Swedish.
Is it where most people live?
Finland also has a single autonomous region, the Åland Islands, which is the smallest region in the country and its only monolingually Swedish area. That means they only speak Swedish there. Number 23. Finns generally refer to their country as Suomi, which is a bit of a mystery as no one actually knows where that name came from. Some cunning linguists have suggested that both Suomi and Sami derive from the same Proto-Baltic word Sine, which was used to refer to a particular land or territory and the people living there. But again, not sure. Could be something completely different. Could mean ice cream. You never know. Number 24.
It's true, if you listen to what ice hockey at the Olympic, they have Suomi in their jersey in big.
Suomi?
Yeah, Suomi, the Finland people. They have it on their hockey jersey.
Finland ranks very highly in numerous metrics of national performance, including education, civil liberties, human development, and overall quality of life. Finland was ranked numero uno in the 2018 and 2019 Good Country Index, which attempts to measure what each country on Earth contributes to the good of humanity. So yeah, it's pretty legit.
It's crazy. We saw the woman right at the beginning, right? So it's not very surprising that they are good in education, healthcare, and they have everything for free, and they are a very happy country and everything like this. And think about it. It's fascinating given their history that they have turned this way before a lot of other countries, even though they have like a lot of people going after them, right? So I'm curious to know like what's going on in Finland that lead them to like you get attacked and you turn the other cheeks in a way. Like I don't know how to explain that, you know.
Number 25. And the accolades don't stop there. Turns out Finland has a lot more to rub in our miserable non-Finnish faces. The UN's World Happiness Report, released in 2019, found that Finland is the happiest place in the world, which followed on from 2018, which also saw Finland placed in the top spot. In fact, Finland is placed in the top 5 happiest countries in the World Happiness Report since 2012. What's their secret? Do they not have the news in Finland? Number 26.
The secret is that when you give people enough salary to do something, and if they get sick, they know that they can afford a doctor because it's free. Education is free. When you give people a lot of safety net, their stress level go down. And when your stress level go down, you're more happy, even though it's never going to be perfect. And if you're from Finland, maybe you don't understand why you're number one, but a lot of you take for granted things that will give you a lot of stress, you know? And you guys probably have less debt than other people, so you can afford to do things and have some fun and not work like 50 hours a week. So
6. Finland offers free education for students, even at university level. Amazingly, this also applies to international students from the EU and EES. While non-EU nationals can also take advantage of Finland's commitment to free education by taking classes taught in Finnish or Swedish, or doctoral studies in any language. Wow, sounds lovely. Number 27. Due to its commitment to equal rights and emphasis on transparency, Finland boasts a particularly free press, currently sitting in the number 2 spot, beneath Scandi show-off's Norway. God damn it, Norway. Number 28. The latest Corruption Perceptions Index, published annually by the Berlin-based anti-corruption organisation Transparency International, ranked Finland as the 3rd least corrupt country on Earth.
Wait, hold on. Why Canada is in the top with Finland? It's crazy. And why the US is only 70? It's one of the most corrupt country. Okay, I don't know where they got that statistic, but
Transparency International ranked Finland as the 3rd least corrupt country on Earth, beaten only by the consistently left-off maps nation of New Zealand, which came in 2nd place, and its Nordic neighbour Denmark in 1st. Damn you, New Zealand and Denmark. Number 29. Passport holders from Finland can gain visaless entry to 187 countries, making it the joint 2nd most powerful passport in the world along with Germany and South Korea. 1st place goes to Singapore, the citizens of which enjoy visa-free travel to 189 nations around the world. Damn you, Singapore. Number 30. Finland's education system also ranks as one of the world's best, pumping out thousands of little blonde Einsteins into the world. That's a horrible image, forgive me. This is despite the fact that children don't start school until they're 7, and it's not compulsory to give them grades until the 8th grade.
Wow, they don't start school until they're 7 years old, and they don't get grade until they're at 8th grade.
Wow.
So until they're like, what, 10 years old, 11 years old, they don't get any grade. So it encourages people to not be in competition with each other, I guess.
Yeah.
When you think about it like this, right? So again, less stress kids can focus on like extracurricular activity and stuff like this.
Number 31. In 2003, Finland elected Anneli Jätemäki as its first female prime minister, making it the only country in the world to have both a female prime minister and president, a position then held by Tarja Halonen. Sadly, this cool little win for women was cut short after only 3 months, when Jätemäki resigned amid a tinsy-wincy political scandal about using leaked secret state information for political purposes during an election campaign.
Oh, well.
Still, good while it lasted. Number 32. In 2010, Finland became the very first country in the world to make broadband a legal right for every one of its citizens. From the 1st of July 2010, every Finn has had the right to a 1 Mbps broadband connection, guaranteeing all Finns decent access.
Free internet? Is that what they're saying? People have the right to have the internet at their home, so it's basically free. Another thing, right? That is like, when you think about it, it's crazy.
That's crazy.
Again, you take internet for granted. A lot of people cannot afford it, so.
To the world of flame wars, nudity, and 101 facts, baby.
This
Number
is
33.
So good.
Finland proudly boasts one of Europe's lowest prison populations, believed by some to be because 30% of all Finnish prisoners serve sentences in open prisons, in which they are famously well treated. People staying in open prisons are given keys to their rooms and have their own kitchens to cook in, and are free to go outside to work, study, and shop in town. They're even sometimes treated to supervise camping and fishing.
But we have seen that in the video, right?
Yeah. In the no.
It was also in Norway, they had the same thing. In the recidivist rate is so low compared to other country. It's like 20-25%. It's still a lot, but it's still low. When you go to jail and you give people some skill, they can go out of jail and they can, like, they're not completely lost, you know? Especially with technology evolving so quickly.
Trips. Number 34. However, some have suggested that Finland's soft-touch approach to imprisonment may also be why the country is known as the prison break capital of Europe. In 2013, 1,008... Sorry, I'm laughing. In 2013, 1,084 escapes were recorded for every 10,000 prisoners of Finland.
That's almost 11% of people that escape while they're in jail. Why do they want to in jail to escape if it's so great? Is it because, like, I don't know, they're not gonna chase you or what?
Miles ahead of second place Belgium, which has a pathetic prison escape rate of only 602 escapes for every 10,000. Come on, prisoners, up your game! Number 35. Finland has 2 official languages, Finnish and Swedish. However, usage between the 2 tongues is highly imbalanced, with approximately 90% of Finns speaking Finnish as their first language compared to only 5% who speak Swedish. Number 36. The Finnish language is one of the few European languages that does not belong to the Indo-European language family.
See, that's what I said earlier. They are part of a different kind of a...
Instead, it's a part of the
See, the Finno-Ugric, is it Hungarian?
Finno-Ugric language group. Yeah.
Ah.
Didn't expect that, did you?
Wait, no, look at the map.
Family. Instead, it's a
The map is going to somewhere in Russia and Siberia. And in Kazakhstan, right? Near Kazakhstan. Huh.
part of the Finno-Ugric language group. Didn't expect that, did you? It's closely related to Estonian and a few other minority languages spoken around the Baltic Sea, and more distinctly to Hungarian. Number 37. The longest known single-word palindrome, which is a word that reads the same backwards as forward, like Hannah, or that's the only word I can think of, is the 19-letter Finnish word, oh, Lord above, Sopuakivi Kaupias, which refers to a dealer of the caustic soda known as lye. Very useful word then, I can imagine it comes up a lot. Number 38. One of the most important works of Finnish literature, if not the most important, is the Kalevala, a 19th century work of epic poetry compiled by Elias Londrot from Karelian and Finnish oral folklore and mythology. A collection of stories, poems and songs, including a creation myth asserting that the world was created from the broken child of a duck egg. The Kalevala played an instrumental role in the development of Finnish national identity, and to this day is still studied in Finnish schools. Number 39.
Okay, you're gonna need to explain this one, guys.
Interestingly, legendary English author and language nerd J.R.R. Tolkien based the High Elvish language featured in The Lord of the Rings on the Finnish language, drawing inspiration from the Kalevala. He was mad cultured, that Tolkien. Number 40.
I always thought they were speaking gibberish. I guess not.
The country of Finland is the 8th largest in Europe, yet it's the European Union's most sparsely populated nation. Very big on personal space, the Finns. Well, unless you're naked. Okay, that sounds weird out of context, but we're getting to it. Number 41. Finland is home to not one, not two, but 7 UNESCO World Heritage Sites.
Whoa.
6 of them cultural and 1 is all natural, baby. Examples include the Bronze Age burial site of...
Wow, the Bronze Age burial site. It's people that were buried a long time ago?
Samala Denmarki, the fortress of Suomenlinna,
Whoa.
and the Kavaken Archipelago.
Ooh.
What is... Oh.
Which I hear is
Oi. Oh.
lovely this time of year. The meaning of life. Finland boasts a whopping 187,888 lakes that are larger than 50 square meters in size. Some hydrophobic bigots in the anti-lake media might say that that's far too many lakes, but not me. 101 Facts is proudly pro-lake. I don't care how many subs we lose as a result. Number 43. At 120 kilometers in length, Finland's Pajänne water tunnel is the longest tunnel in Europe and the second longest in the world, after New York's Delaware Aqueduct. See, prison breaks aren't the only interesting things about Finland, they've got some nice long tunnels too. Number 44. The capital of Finland is the lovely little settlement of Helsinki, which also happens to be the most populated city in the country. What a coincidence. It has 650,058 people within its city limits, and a total of 1,268,296 people living within its urban area. Also, for a capital city, Helsinki remains a delightful place to live. Dubbed the world's most livable city by Monocle magazine in 2010, and ranked the world's 9th most livable city out of 150 by the Economist Intelligence Unit in 2016. More like Heavensinki, am I right? Number 45. The average temperature in Helsinki during the winter months is -5 degrees Celsius. That's around 23 degrees Fahrenheit, which is certainly a bit nippy, but not completely intolerable. However, the coldest temperature ever measured in the country occurred way back in 1999, when Prince was partying. Specifically in Kittilä, a municipality in northern Finland, when the temperature plummeted down to -51.5 degrees Celsius. Or America, that's -60.7 degrees Fahrenheit. Ha ha! No! Number 46. Around a quarter of the country lies within the Arctic Circle, making Finland's northern regions one of the several places on Earth often referred to as the land of the midnight sun. In these areas, the sun doesn't set at all for 73 days in the summer, and conversely, the sun doesn't rise at all for...
This is crazy, right?
This is good.
Wait, what? How can you sleep?
To sleep when the sun is up.
Okay.
51 days during the winter.
But what are you gonna do with the 73 days when the sun is never up?
That's the thing.
They have both extreme, you know?
Phenomenon known as polar night. Number 47.
Well, you're not gonna tell people why you don't sleep when the sun is down because she's afraid of teeth.
If I stay in Finland, I'm probably gonna be fine.
The eroding effects of the heavy glaciers that covered Finland during the last ice age left the country with a generally flat landscape with few hills or mountains. Good news for little calves there. But also, more than 70% of it is covered by thick forest, which is, I don't know, do your calves like forests? I mean, mine do. Number 48. Interestingly, Finland's landmass is rising up to 9 millimeters a year as a result of a phenomenon known as post-glacial rebound. As the name suggests, the land that constitutes Finland, previously weighed down by the huge weight of glaciers,
Wait, what?
mass is rising up to 9 millimeters a
Wait,
number
what?
48. Interestingly, Finland's landmass is rising up to 9 millimeters a year as a result of
The landmass raised 9 millimeter every year. The landmass.
a phenomenon known as post-glacial rebound. As the name suggests, the land that constitutes Finland, previously weighed down by the huge weight of glaciers during the Ice Age, is rising out of the sea like a beach ball that's been held underwater, except it's not a beach ball, it's 338,424 square kilometers of land. Physics, it's physics, gang.
Whoa.
Number 49. The national animal of Finland is the brown bear, which features prominently in Finnish mythology and folklore. The brown bear is the second largest variety of bear behind the polar bear, and is known to inhabit all areas of Finland, not just the heavily forested areas in the northern regions of the country. So, you better watch out.
You better watch out.
Number 50.
Come on, I don't
Finland is
think
Actually, you probably can see because where the people house is, like really near
The
the
food?
jungle and everything. Yeah.
Home to the Saimaa ringed seal, a highly threatened seal species that's found in Lake Saimaa, Finland, and only in Lake Saimaa, Finland. The species descends from a population of seals that inhabited the lake when it was first cut off from the sea after the last ice age. And in the 9,500 years since, these adorable blubbery boys have evolved into a separate subspecies that constitutes one of the very few freshwater seal species. Sadly, only about 380 individuals live in the lake today, and are therefore considered endangered. Number 51. Finland is known around...
Oh, okay. Let's finish part 1 here. The video is so long. It's hard to focus. He speaks so fast, so... Okay.